Unlike the fire and heat forges of the Pandaren and Mogu, the Jinyu have mastered the art of water forging. They shape stone and metal by using the pressures and currents of water. Originally, they would scavenge for polished stone and materials in the river. They developed an eye for the places that would provide the best quality baubles and rocks. Over the ages, they have learned to manipulate water through their magic to craft exceptional edifices of rock and stone to defy rivalry. Their weapons and armor are as hard as any forged steel, and their walls often appear to be constructed without seams. In the days before the Sundering, legend has it that all rivers flowed to Pandaria. Few were more aware of this than the clever Jinyu. Over time, the wisest of their people learned to commune with the waters of the river and listen for the future and news it would bring. The elders were respected by most races and earned their title of water speakers. This early Jinyu shrine may provide some insight to the origins of the race. Depicted is a collection of squat, primitive aquatic creatures. They surround a series of pools on a field of gold, perhaps a rendering of the Veil of Eternal Blossoms. One of the primitive creatures holds a staff aloft beside the waters, but the symbols that surround his head are of an unknown language that likely predates the first Mogu dynasty. The exact connection between these early aquatic creatures and the Veil remains unclear. The Jinyu operate in a strict caste society, clearly evidenced by the stone tablet engraved with names. Eggs are sorted early on based on the needs of the community. Many Jinyu are cast as workers, diligently put to work building dams or other structures. Others are selected to be craftsmen and immediately undergo a rigid apprenticeship on hatching. Only warriors and priests are given access to the most food and finest shelters, and only the most successful priests can ascend to the role of elder or water speaker. It is taboo for the Jinyu castes to intermingle.
Great events often have humble beginnings. Consider a quiet pond, still. The water is like a sheet of glass. Until I throw a stone, such a small thing, but soon ripples engulf the whole of the lake. The Jinyu also have humble origins. Once primitive creatures, they were fortunate enough to live near the enchanted pools within the Veil. The magic of the pools expanded their minds and grew their bodies until they became one of the great ancient cultures of Pandaria. The wisest of the Jinyu are very wise indeed. They can speak to the rivers the way you and I would consult our elders. In the whispering waters, they can hear the future. The Jinyu and their water speakers stand at the very heart of the greatest events in Pandaria's history. Their visions built empires, freed slaves, and warned our last emperor of the Sundering that shattered Azeroth 10,000 years ago. Think about it. The smallest voice can change the world. Consider that, friend, the next time you decide to start throwing stones.